سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hamin Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel.
Allahu Akbar!
So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hamin Media Group, and join the Hamin Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
This just in, breaking news. There's been an addendum added to the Geneva Convention. It is no longer considered legal to show episodes of Uncaged or Rampage from AEW to prisoners of war. Cruel and unusual punishment.
It's Friday! You know what that means! A new era of professional wrestling starts right now with AEW Rampage!
Welcome to Story Time with Adam Cole, that guy.
You take a chance! Let it go!
Hello everyone and welcome to the HMG Rampage Uncaged show right here on channelattitude.com via HMG. I am your host Jimmy T and I'm back finally after a 2-week hiatus. I did explain on the Smack Attack my circumstances, so go check that out. But basically I had a death in the family and that's why I wasn't around for the last 2 weeks. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. But the important thing is I am back, and so are my boys, formerly of the PWC, but also right here at HMG on channelattitude.com. Chris, welcome back to Rampage Uncaged, and what is crack-a-lackin'?
Hey, bro. Welcome back. And yeah, that's a really nice story you're telling everybody about what happened. But we know the truth. We know what actually happened with Jimmy T, and that's that. Unfortunately, a pack of dingoes confused Jimmy for a baby, and they kidnapped him, and they've been gnawing on his legs for the last 2 weeks. You can't see his legs right now because they're mostly chewed off by this wild pack of dingoes. But Jimmy, welcome back. Yes, I'm Chris Ambs. That's AMDS, like lambs with no L or bullshit first thing in the morning. Don't worry if you ever forget how to spell my name. I'll just remind you.
Absolutely. And next we have the evil one of them all. He is the evil dose of HMG and the PWC. He is the foreign object. Jeff Lippman. Welcome back to Rampage Uncaged. And what's this member of random Japanese faction, Jeff? Are you trying to say that the Japanese have way too many factions in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Of course not, because I happen to be a member of one. Which one doesn't matter.
And well, I was going to say, what is it? The evil arigato dos.
Listen, you just wait until it's ready. So, a couple things to the audience. What I was doing before was I was seeing no evil, I was hearing no evil, I was speaking no evil. So I missed the disclaimer. The other thing is, I'm sorry. I am sorry about the last Uncaged. We missed a week, and then I did a double solo show. First of all, I don't know how to set this thing up to go live, so I wasn't able to do this. I don't like doing solo shows. I don't think I'm good at them, and I'm not sure if you agree or not, but I'm sorry, but at least we didn't actually miss covering any show week, just we were a little bit late on covering it, and again, I'm sorry.
No, look, I actually appreciate that, boys, and I'm sure our listeners would also appreciate that, you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, the shows are still going, and that's what matters, man, regardless if I was around or not. So it doesn't matter, Jeff, if you didn't know what was going on, you still managed to do it, so that's all that matters, man. And that's what counts, right? So, that's that. But, let's get into Rampage, shall we? I mean, I know you boys kind of weren't the biggest fans of it, but I thought it wasn't too bad of a show. I mean, sure, it's not the best show, but considering, and now look, I hadn't watched Rampage for the last 2 weeks, so maybe that's the reason why I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, there was storylines, right, Chris? There was some sort of shit going on that was happening on television previously, so you can't be mad at that, surely.
Jimmy, they made me watch Aubrey Edwards wrestle.
That's crazy.
I cannot forgive that. It's like people who are like, Hitler, there were some things that Hitler did that were like really nice, and he made sure the buses ran on time, and he was a good artist, and he was still fucking Hitler. As far as this episode goes, you made me watch Aubrey Edwards. That's being Hitler. I don't care.
Wow.
Wow.
Listen, 2 weeks ago, the episode of Rampage was not even an AEW television show. That was my opinion. That's what I put on the episode. I covered it in 15 minutes of that solo show. There were 4 matches, 4 title matches. None were an AEW title, and even the matchups didn't make sense. The week after wasn't a bad show. The week after, like last week, I thought Rampage was a pretty good Rampage. It was fine. It harkened back to the old days, not the original days where it was must-see TV to follow what's going on with AEW, but it went back to days where you had 4 matches, a few segments, things related to storylines, and it was a quick hour of wrestling to digest. Last night was a little bit more than a little painful.
Well, look, I think the Takeshita stuff was not bad, right? Even though, anyway, we'll get into that when we get there, but
I think it was bad.
We'll get into it when we get there, but like I said, man, the fact that Papa Briscoe was on, that popped me. I mean, he's got just as good clotheslines as I think it was Excalibur that said it, as Stan Hansen did. I mean, shit, they're killer freaking clotheslines, let's be honest. But what disturbed me about him, he was a bit obsessed with Aubrey Edwards. Chris, I mean, did you find that a bit sort of disturbing, man? I mean, he was always trying to hug her, then hug her again, then hug her even more. Like, what the hell, dude?
I mean, just pretending that Aubrey Edwards is at all good at anything ever is just not okay in my books. It's, like I said, she's, as far as I'm concerned, it's like Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Aubrey Edwards. It's like that.
Wow. Do you agree, Jeff? Hitler, Mao?
No, I'm not going to go with that list at all, and I'm not going to try to do a competing list either. I am going to say that, I mean, I'm a man, and Papa Briscoe is a man. If you're going to choose a woman that was there in that ring to fawn over, that's age appropriate for you, I'm going to pick Karen Jarrett.
Jarrett. I still call her Karen Angle, for Christ's sake, man. I can't help it.
Well, don't.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't. Indeed.
You're
How old
dead
is she, by
naming
the
her
way?
Jimmy.
Oh well, she does have 2 kids to Mr. Angle, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean,
Does-
she's got to be around 50.
Easily, maybe older, maybe 52, 53, around that range.
Well, yeah, I'm going on the low. I'm going to assume that Kurt and Jeff married a younger woman, but not too much younger, like most people do.
Right. Yeah.
And that since Jeff Jarrett is, I believe, 54, that she's at least 50. She's probably 51 or 52.
Also, Jimmy, have you seen Mark Briscoe? My guess is that Mama Briscoe is not an awful lot prettier than Aubrey Edwards.
Well, to be fair, he does kind of look. Well, that's true, but he does kind of look like his old man, actually.
Actually, I would say his old man is better looking than Mark. Now, I have seen Mark's wife, and she's also not much to look at.
Really?
I'm going to think that Mama Briscoe might have been drinking more when Mark was in utero than when Jay was in utero.
Actually, has anyone seen Mama Briscoe?
She's maybe one of the chickens.
Wow, she could be. I'm starting to think of Animal Farm, for crying out loud. If anyone remembers that,
I don't know. He's alone. Maybe he's lonely. I don't know. Maybe Aubrey was the closest single woman nearby. I don't know.
He was like, "Come here, girl."
His cataracts.
All women are equal, but some women are more equal than others.
And she had to friggin' wear a sleeveless shirt, dudes.
Love is subjective. The heart wants what the heart wants.
That's true. It's actually true.
Actually, you know what? If they continue with Papa Briscoe having a love story pursuing Aubrey Edwards on TV, I will forgive this match.
Oh, your characters. Well, the comic king, Todd Brantley's in the house, and he says, "Chris, don't you mean Don Stevens?"
Not in this context. As a matter of fact, I wish Don Stevens would have copyright stricken this.
And thank you, Professor, man. That means the world to me, brother. Thank you very much. And homeboy, what's up, man? I see you. I hear you. Don't worry. We'll talk shortly. But anyway, yeah, let's get into the first match.
For his show, because apparently you bailed on him.
Well, it was during that time, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I don't even want to get into that.
Covered this already.
The dingoes, right? If you want to hear me get more in detail, check out Smack Attack, because I can't be bothered talking about it even more right here, right now, if you know what I mean. But
let's watch The Five Bloods on Netflix and see the part where the guy gets blown up by a landmine, and that's what Jimmy looks like from the neck down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a dingo stole the baby that I never had.
A pack of dingoes.
But remember the opening scene of Tropic Thunder, with the hands?
That's
like
funny,
that, but his
actually.
legs.
And Jimmy, we've talked to you about not sucking your thumb in the wild.
Oh, really? You can call me Jungle Boy, baby. Maybe not. Actually, forget I even said that. Anyway, let's go into the first. Let's go into the first. I know. Let's go into the first match of Rampage. It is the United Empire defeating Chaos. I mean, what can I say? I mean, we had some Aussie, oi, oi, oi chants. I'm sure you heard it this time. We did. You didn't hear it?
Did you hear any, Chris?
I may have heard a
come
couple
on.
of people yelling
There was.
in the crowd. There's
I know it's cool to.
four of them.
I know it's cool to chant it because that's what it's coming across as. I'm sure that person that was doing it was not Australian anyway, right? They're just doing it for the hell of it. Probably
Australians
not even
generally don't like that chant unless they're actually watching an Australian team compete in a worldwide event. Like, Australians really don't fucking like it if you just do that chant with them.
Right, I personally don't, right? I hate it. Straight up, no offense.
Maybe it was an Australian military attaché. Maybe it was from the Australian embassy in D.C. It was Washington, D.C. There could have very well been Australians there, some expats, some
Is the
lobbyists.
Australian attaché is the Australian attaché a new faction in AEW? Because they just keep pumping out new names.
I have no idea.
It might be a random Japanese faction. Wait till the end of the show to find out.
What the fuck did you say, Jimmy? What, you said so and so beat so and so. I missed that. What were the names?
The United Empire defeats Chaos.
Right.
And when I say Chaos, yes, best friends are part of Chaos.
Why do you have to say United Empire? I mean, if
Because
it's
that's
not
what they
united,
call it.
it's not an empire.
Well, don't ask me. Don't shoot the messenger, Jeff. I mean, ask New Japan. Ask Gato, who I assume came up with that.
I don't speak Japan, and I don't know any Gatos. Is that like Gumby?
Gatos. I used to love
Happy
Gumby,
Pride
man.
Month to all our Gatos out there.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, Chris.
Are you happy Gecko?
Pride
I know
Month.
him.
All the Gatos and Lebanese and all the other
Geckos.
people out there celebrating Pride Month.
The Lebanese. Yeah, and the Saudis apparently too. Just
The
quietly.
party on the island of Lesbos must be off the hook.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Apparently that's where I've said this before, but apparently that's where the first lesbian.
Pixar.
Just a psh for that one. Anyway, like I said, the United Empire did defeat Chaos in a fun little matchup. I mean, the match breaks down with all 6 men getting spots in quick succession as Fletcher ultimately tombstones Romero, setting him up for Ospreay's hidden blade, and we get the pinfall victory. Chris, you probably weren't the biggest fan of the match, and I assume that's right? What did you not like about this match?
Just the same stuff that I've been complaining about forever with AEW. The fundamentals weren't there. They didn't do proper heat spots. They didn't do proper tagging in and out. It was just everybody everywhere doing everything all at once. Flippy shit. Look at my flippy shit. Look at my flippy shit. I've got better flippy shit than you do. What can I say about this match? It was an AEW tag match.
Well, that's it. You just said it. That's the problem. We can keep criticizing this every day of the week if we wanted to, right? But I think we need to come to a conclusion, which we have. Don't get me wrong, because you just said it. It's an AEW tag match. It will never change, I don't think. And is there any point of even complaining about it anymore, Chris, do you think?
I am honestly so hopeful. I have all of my fingers, my toes. I'm gonna cross my balls here in a second. Just
Whoa.
hoping and praying that fucking Collision is booked by somebody else. And yes, that is the problem. It's the booking. It's not the talent. The talent do what they're fucking told to do, okay? And if you've got talent who are breaking all of these fucking simple rules, you as the person in charge need to tell the talent, hey, you got to cut that out. I listened to a K100 episode. Well, not a whole episode. I listened to a clip because I'm not paying for shit. But I listened to a clip on YouTube of K100, and it was Conan, and he was asked about Roosh a couple weeks back, how he just beat the living fuck out of Jungle Boy for 15 minutes and then took the pin,
right?
And he said, listen, that's not Roosh's fault. Somebody's got to talk to him. Somebody's got to tell him how the match is supposed to go. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I really loved was that he said, and this is K-Dog, this is Conan, this is one of the most famous Latino wrestlers maybe ever, right? And he basically said, listen, when I first got to WCW, it took me a year to properly understand how to wrestle in America because he didn't understand. He wanted to be on the outside all the time. He was doing shit that didn't make any sense. He wasn't holding on to tag ropes. He was doing all of these bad things, all of these bad habits that he had picked up in Mexico. He said it took him a year to properly learn how to work the American style, and he wouldn't have gotten it if not for the people backstage saying, no, you can't do that. You can't do this. You got to fix this. So part of it is the talent need to be humble enough to listen. But the guy in charge of the show needs to tell them, that's not right. Do it the right way.
Well, is that the agent's fault even that they don't have a
what
clue what's
agents?
going on? Well, yeah, that's the problem, right?
Don't tell me anybody other than fucking TK is saying anything to these guys, because we've seen this. Like Jeff and I, we did the skirmish a couple of weeks in a row there, and like I think this last week or the week before, it was this week. They had multiple finishes where so there's 2 matches where it was tag team matches, and both finishes saw the spot where all 4 guys are in the ring, and 2 of the guys are either hitting or kicking or laying in their submission at the exact same time to get the win. It happened 2 different matches. Like, where the fuck is the booker to say, no, in the main event they're doing that, you can't have that finish. You have to have
That's
a different
shocking.
finish. So, it is shocking because if you understand just the fucking rudimentary like fundamentals of professional wrestling, you know that there's got to be somebody there to say, "Hey, no, you can't fucking do that, bro."
Well said, Chris. Jeff, do
I'm
you
going to
agree?
try not to repeat anything that Chris said because I just don't want us to be repetitive.
Right.
I do blame the booking more than the talent. I think that the level of the booking is Tony Khan tells him you have 13 minutes. So I'm going to say something nice. This match only had about 12 minutes. Thank God, because I was afraid it was going to go 20 minutes. What they should have done, since they're trying to build Ospreay versus Omega, is they should have had Ospreay in a solo match against somebody who's respectable, but you don't have anything invested in them, like a Sean Spears or wherever the hell he is, Ortiz, or somebody that's above Brian Pillman, Brock Anderson, Sean Dean level. And Will Ospreay should have destroyed them in 5 minutes. That's what he should have done. Now, I do blame the talent in that Chuck Taylor is Chuck Taylor. I'm going to blame Chuck Taylor for being Chuck Taylor. I will not forgive him.
Should we call him Chub Taylor from now on, Jeff?
That is motion accepted. Rocky Romero might be the only person who has retired as many times as Leo Rush. I'm not interested in seeing him. That I know he's the goodwill ambassador to New Japan, and anybody who will pay him and maybe by accident also pay New Japan to do something, but always pay him. At some point, it's going to turn out he's like the fabulous Moolah without the sax. He's like New Japan pimp. Not interested in seeing Rocky Romero ever. Trent, whatever. Jeff Cobb, I like Jeff Cobb, and if Jeff Cobb is going to be in a tag match, they need to show his power. He's got to be the power guy. This tag team should have been Will Ospreay being the glory and Jeff Cobb being the power. Instead, they had to have Kyle Fletcher in there because Tony Khan needs to play with all of his toys, and he signed Aussie Open, even though they were already leaving New Japan, and one of them is injured for God knows how long. So he's got to put Kyle Fletcher on TV. Why? He's the only person who doesn't get paid to do nothing. Is he on a per appearance deal? This makes no sense. But I never saw Cobb's power game. It was a tag team. So Cobb wrestles the same as Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay and Trent Beretta, and fucking Chuck T does the same thing too. I mean, it's like 6 of the same people.
Yep.
Will Ospreay at least got the pin, but Will Ospreay should have looked heads and tails better than them, which is why I think it should have just been a regular tag match with just best friends just being clobbered by these guys if it wasn't so. And Jeff Cobb just throwing them all over the place. Maybe Trent gets some quick offense because he's better than Chuck T, and then Will Ospreay comes in and just demolishes him.
Or when is Forbidden Door now? Because that's the next time.
I was going to ask the same thing. Funny enough, I was going to say the same thing.
Isn't it the 25th? Is
2
it
weeks?
Sunday?
Next Sunday?
Yeah, well,
what's the date now?
It can't possibly be competing against the second episode of Collision, could it? Sure, it could. But I think it's the 25th.
Shit, you're right. It is going to
come. Right.
See, wait a minute. So, Forbidden Door's on a Saturday?
Well, I guess it's on a Sunday. I don't know what day it is in your part of the world, on your planet.
No, for me, it would be if it's on a Sunday, it will be on a Monday for me.
Right. Monday morning.
But is it Monday morning? What? Yeah, Monday morning. Damn it. I hate that because usually it would start at 12.
Is that Fleetwood Mac song?
I mean?
Monday morning.
Monday morning at 10 a.m. I think it starts for me.
Your secondhand news.
Which is not too bad though. 10. I'd rather have that than what the UK have there.
Yeah, but we're being asked to watch an hour of Rampage Friday night, 2 hours of Collision Saturday night, and 23 hours of Forbidden Door 2 Sunday.
23. They probably will drain it for sure. But what you said, Jeff, is correct though. For starters, Will Ospreay. What does Chaos have to do with the United Empire and Will Ospreay's feud with Kenny Omega?
Nothing.
Right. So why? Why was he even involved?
With his dolls, and he's like, those dolls. Oh, and when sometimes you would pick up action figures and one of them, their legs got interstuck with it, and so Rocky Romero's got stuck to best friends. So he's like, I need a 6-man.
Yeah.
So I have a point. I have a point that I need
Go
to
for
make
it.
here. So we're 2 weeks out from Forbidden Door, right?
Mhm.
And Will Ospreay
Oh,
is having one of the major matches on that card, right? Like him and
Mhm.
Kenny Omega is considered to be a main event or a co-main event spot,
It'll
right?
probably be the second last match on the card. More
In a
than
match
likely.
I am legitimately interested in watching.
Okay.
For sure. If going by their first one, if it's anything to go by.
Didn't see that.
I have seen very little of Will Ospreay. I have seen clips. I've seen maybe one highlight match that I've seen in the past,
The one with Ricochet.
and this, so. If you're 2 weeks out from a major pay-per-view and you've got this guy who's supposed to be an international star and you're trying to help build him, especially if he's going against Kenny Omega, here's the right way to book it. You have him go in a singles match this week against Matt Jackson.
Nick Jackson, right. Exactly.
You have him beat the shit out of Nick Jackson, okay? 4-minute match, he squashes him, and he goes, look, Kenny, that's your boy, Kenny, that's going to be you in 2 weeks. This week, you have him beat the shit out of whichever other fucking Jackson. I don't know which one I said. So Matt or Nick or whoever the fuck I didn't say, you get your ass kicked this week. And then you have Ospreay go, Kenny, you've got 2 nights, and that's you.
Right. And since AEW love blood so much, right? He could have beaten him up in a bloody pulp and just hold him by the hair like, Kenny.
Yeah, but of course
Who's
you
gonna
can't
be you?
do that because they're involved with the BCC, which is confusing enough. So I guess we should be thankful that it wasn't Brandon Cutler or Nakazawa that they put out there instead.
I would prefer
That
Brandon Cutler and Nakazawa
'cause it would make
getting
sense, right?
singles matches against Ospreay. As it is, Ospreay and 2 of his buddies. So one guy who I barely have ever seen wrestle, and 2 of his buddies who I have barely ever seen wrestle, beat some other fucking guys who I barely ever see wrestle. And I'm supposed to take something out of this heading into the pay-per-view. Why? Why do I give
And
a
you know
shit
what?
that those 3 work better than these 3? Who fucking cares?
Right, but you know what, man? Like if we're 2 weeks away from Forbidden Door, or is it a week away, Jeff? One week. Shit.
8 days.
Wow. Crazy. Well, basically what I was gonna say is you could have had Ospreay last week on Rampage, say, facing Cutler, beat him up, and then this week you could have faced Nakazawa and beat him up, you know what I mean? Again, heck, you could have even had 2 against 1. Ospreay is that confident, you'd be like, I'll beat 2 of your buddies out there. You know what I mean? At the same
And
time.
then not have it be competitive. Those matches should not be fucking competitive. If Will Ospreay is actually a main event star, and I have not fucking seen it yet because I barely see this fucking guy, I don't know anything about him.
Right.
You want to prove to me that you're a main event star and that I should buy your fucking pay-per-view? Show me.
Right. And you want to protect the Bucks, show them coming into the building by themselves. The BCC beats the crap out of them from behind. They re-injure Matt's arm. That's why he can't be there to help. And Nick heroically says, I'm cleared, I'm fine, I'm taking this match. But then he gets killed because he's really not fine. So you still protect them. It's not that obvious. Chris is right. Actually, having the elite in this, it advances the story. But Tony doesn't care about that because that's not the story. For him, the story is I'm making great exhibition matches.
Exhibition matches. That's the whole issue. But no, look, I think both of you are right. So I mean, but it's easily done, and that's what's frustrating about this company. It's simple. Look, you guys came up with a solution in 2 seconds, and they just don't think.
I came up with one. He came up with a better one, and
that's what I'm saying.
Together, we came up with something that's even better yet. Neither one of us is paid, and only one of us really likes AEW. That's him. I sort of do want to fail,
me.
You know? No, Chris. I was.
I was going to say.
I have mine set up the right way. So
right. No, see, to me, you're pointing to me. That's what's funny.
This is for you.
There you go. Well, see, you're pointing to Chris that time. And that's what the people are going to see, too.
Oh, fuck this shit. Never mind then. I'm done pointing. What's the point?
I like Homeboy's last comment because that's.
What did he say?
That's fucking great.
Well, let's see what he says. Homeboy ADS says, you guys are running on all cylinders now. This would be an excellent show on Sirius XM. Believe me or not, I know somebody that works there. I'll put a word out to them.
Fame
Don't
at
say
last.
that. Don't say that, homeboy. Come on now. Do not say that. That would be cool, and I appreciate that. But why wouldn't you put yourself on there?
Jeff's
homeboy?
about
You've
to
got a
soak.
pretty great show.
Jeff's about to soak. Everybody calm
Oh
down.
no!
Yeah,
Let's not start that again.
Done.
And if you want to know what soaking really is all about, like I said, go and check out the Smack Attack right here on channelattitude.com. You won't be disappointed, believe me. But anyway,
By the way, I think that might have been our best 2 hours and 40-minute show. I think that one
Could have.
was
2 hours 40 minutes.
I
Sure
think
wasn't
of all
2
the
hours and
2
50
40
minutes.
minute shows of Smack Attack we've done. I think that one actually was justified.
It's so fucking long, though.
It is.
Yeah,
long.
I know that is long. Right?
That
Not
was
that we're
our
complaining.
Avengers Endgame.
It's just. Well, anyway, like I said, not that we're complaining, but it is a bit long. Well, anyway, let's get into the next match, guys. And the next match, I'm confused, dudes. First of all, it was Taya Valkyrie defeating Trish Adora in a pretty hard-hitting affair between these two women. Is Taya a freaking heel now, Chris?
I'm watching the show and I'm going, why?
I'm being serious. I don't understand what happened. What have I missed? Have I missed
If you're
something?
turning heel, then turn heel. But don't just come out here and just all of a sudden you're working heel. She's doing her little shake thing at the crowd and yelling at them and stuff already. It's like, why? Why are you yelling at the crowd? Why don't you like the crowd? Why suddenly you don't even like the fucking crowd? You were a face, you got screwed out of your title match or whatever, a la Bret Hart WrestleMania 9. I get it. I totally get it. But there's a lot of people in that fucking audience who, if you came out and said, listen, I got screwed. I should have gotten that second chance at that title. I'm the one who softened her up, and I should be getting the next shot at this TBS championship or whatever. That audience would cheer like fucking crazy. They'd throw babies in the air remembering WrestleMania 9. They'd be soaking themselves just thinking about it. They'd be super fucking happy about Taya Valkyrie. So all of a sudden Taya Valkyrie goes, oh look, I got fucked out of this match, and also fuck you crowd, I don't like you anymore. It's like, what? Where did that come from? Where did all of this vitriol suddenly come from? Like, tell the fucking story.
Well, I was going to ask you, since I hadn't watched any wrestling for the last couple of weeks, was I missing something? Did they explain anything why she was heel? Or was this the first event that she was heel?
No, she's mad because she got screwed at the pay-per-view.
Here's the thing. I mean, first of all, permission to be cheekier than usual. Since I watch MLW, I happen to know that Taya Valkyrie right now is a heel and apparently is the MLW featherweight women's champion.
Featherweight?
Action with her husband,
Featherweight.
John Hennigan, and or Johnny Lucha, and Sam Adonis in a faction looking for Cesar Durant, who's been missing now for about 14 months. So she was never faced. No, this is what happened. First of all, she didn't even get screwed out of her title match. She lost her title match, and then stupid smart Mark Sterling said there's an open challenge, and someone else answered it and won. Now, so since then, has she turned heel or done anything heel? No. What we do is when Chris Statlander has been on the screen, they've cut back to Taya Valkyrie watching the Jumbotron, looking annoyed. I mean, like this, looking like she's mad, and they're saying she's annoyed. But why is she mad? We don't know. Her issue should be, I should get a rematch, but since that's not a champion, I should be first in line for the TBS title. Get mad if the powers that be, which there aren't any, say no. But here's another thing. First of all, another cheeky thing. Well, she's heel because she came out in all black with thin, dark sunglasses. So obviously she's a heel. I mean, come on. What's more turning heel than wearing all black? And
they're also about to spend a month in Canada, so good luck getting the fucking crowd to boo her anyway. Just stupid.
Right.
Well, maybe she's not invited
exactly.
to that. The other thing is, it's the same problem that I'm going to have with every single match, including the first one. If she's going to be your foil, your heel that's going to be facing Chris Statlander, why is she having trouble with Trish Adora? I know Trish Adora is a Washington, D.C. based wrestler.
Oh, that was annoying, dude.
Great. But this is another one where it should have been a 4.5-minute squash match to show, especially if she's a heel. She should have destroyed her. Maybe she attacks her before the bell rings. She destroys her. The woman never had a chance. So what? There were only 800 people left in the building to tepidly care about this match at this point, and have her and then have her built so that she can say, that should have been my title shot. I want the title. I'm next in line. Jade's gone. Who knows where the hell she is? I'm right here. So let her do that. Let her do some character work, and it'll be a squash. But no, it's a 8.5-minute competitive match between Taya Valkyrie, who came in as the female version of the savior of the women's division, the next game changer, to only lose predictably, because we all predicted it for the reasons that we stated. And now she's having trouble with Trish Adora, who twice a year is hired by AEW when they're either in Baltimore or Washington, D.C.
Well, I think she's actually a mainstay in Ring of Honor, funny enough, Jeff. So
I guess it depends. Well, they probably tape it in... Where do they tape that? In Philly?
No, I think it's in Florida.
No, I think they tape it in Philly, where ECW used to tape, and so that's a 2.5-hour drive for her.
No.
Oh no, you're right. It's at the Orlando studios. It's
exactly.
It's Full Sail. It's where they used to tape.
Are they at Full Sail? Are they?
No, not before. It's wherever they used to tape NXT.
Yeah, Full Sail University.
Maybe it is Full Sail. I don't think Full Sail's called Full Sail anymore, by the way. Anyway, okay. But you're right. I don't know if she's a mainstay. What they fly her down for 4 days then?
Well, whatever. You're right, though. At the end of the day, she's really portrayed as kind of a jobber, and she got a lot of her shit in. But Taya Valkyrie was definitely working that match as a heel, like 100% in every sense.
Well, like it's Chris Statlander.
Yeah. Actually, let's get into that quickly. Also, how bad, Chris, is Chris Statlander at doing promos, dude? I thought she sucked.
She's very wooden. Yep, she's
wooden.
And I kind of made fun of it when she first came back, because I mean, here she is. She's coming back after an injury, and she's a big tatted up chick who's got this like alt look, and she's got the heavy metal, like the rock entrance theme, and she comes out and she comes out and she does this sign language thing, and they tell us that what she said is "Mama's home," and I'm like, "Mommy's home? You're telling me that the large, muscular, tatted woman is calling herself mommy? Yeah, that doesn't seem, repetitive with anything going on in WWE or anything."
Yeah, I know, it's true. I was kind of thinking that also. It reminded me of
like, are you also going to start speaking in an Australian accent? So we just think no. You are Rhea Ripley? Like, is that what we're doing now? Or
no, she'll do South African. I mean, but all this time she was gone a year. I know she was doing rehab and all that, but she couldn't take acting lessons too. I mean, maybe there was a reason she was doing the alien gimmick where she didn't speak English and she just go boop. Maybe because she couldn't take acting lessons and be coached on that, because her promos are terrible. And I know people like to pretend she's a great wrestler, but she's not. She's just okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, she's like a 4.5, which is a little bit below average. But promos, she's like a 1.
Yeah, she's pretty bad. She's pathetic, actually. But
and all she has to do is be a 5.5 on promos, because the crowd wants to love her. All she has to be is okay.
A 3 on a promo, and she'll get over great with this crowd. You don't have to be good at promos in fucking AEW. I mean, right. The Young Bucks are stars in AEW, and those guys are awful and awkward.
Right. She could just be short too. She could say, "Taya, I know you're pissed. I don't know why you're pissed at me, but you don't have to get in your tough biker clothes. You want a match? You want a match for this title? You think it's yours? Ask." That's the end of a promo. The end. Walk away.
Yep. And listen, like, as far as like her taking like some acting lessons or whatever, I've been on this, for a very long time. Everyone who wants to be taken seriously as a professional wrestler, for every hour that you are training to learn how to wrestle, you need to spend a half hour learning how to act. Every single hour that you're training, spend a half hour learning how to act, and you'll be fine. You might not be great, but you'll at least learn the basics of how to pretend stuff, which, hey, I mean, I don't know if everybody's just forgotten this, but pretending is what professional wrestling is. You're pretending.
It's true. You're spot on. Whoops, wrong thing. But what Jinder said, man, seriously, you make me laugh, bro. Statlander be eating Tony Khan's meat sauce. Yo, you wouldn't want to taste that meat sauce.
And tell homeboy that it's halal, not kosher.
He did say kosher. It is halal, actually, homeboy.
Halal, yeah.
Even though it's both. I mean, what's the difference, really, Jeff?
Kosher is Jewish.
Yeah, no, I know that. Obviously,
it's mostly just the word, but it makes a big difference to use the word that's part of your faith.
Right, no, that's true, but it's kind of the same sort of
that's like
concept.
Me saying, dumping a baby in the water and blessing them instead of saying baptism.
Oh boy. Anyway,
maybe not that bad.
Maybe not that bad, because if you ever saw my photos of when I was getting christened, I looked like I was getting abused. Just
that's because of all the dingoes jumping for you.
Yeah.
This was in a Greek church, actually, Jeff, but they were pretty savage, man. Jinder says it's curry. Oof. Aren't you the biggest fan of curry too, Jinder? I'm just saying. Just saying. And homeboy says, Jeff, don't correct me.
Is that my new name, Jeff Don't Correct Me, or is it Jeff, Don't Correct Me?
Oh boy, these guys! Oh man, this is
come on,
killer.
Man. You know, homeboy doesn't speak good English.
What are you trying to say? Both of you is what he's trying to. What are you alluding to, boys? Come on now. Are you saying because he's Mexican?
You know what? I'm demoting him to homeboy 88 after homeboy 85 after these errors.
85. Oh. No, we love you, homeboy. Come on now. Anyway, next though, let's go move on next to another weird segment. It was the Hardys are being interviewed backstage, where Matt says they have a match against the Guns next week on Dynamite. The Guns will be a stepping stone for Matt and Jeff on their way to winning the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Jeff, what the hell was Jeff Hardy doing? And is it just me, or does Matt Hardy look younger than Jeff Hardy does right now?
Well, I mean, Jeff Hardy's 44 is like 87 to the rest of us. First, kudos to Jeff Hardy for wearing a Shad Gaspard shirt.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Oh,
look who's here.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Jimmy.
Hola.
Hello, hola. Las Acarias in the house.
I don't see you.
That's
Yeah.
right. Don't have the banner block the cleavage. Come on.
I do.
What banner? Me? You got to take the banner
Take my
off,
banner
actually.
down.
I can't. You have to do that, actually,
All
Jeff.
right, fine.
How are you guys?
Good. Good. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. Enjoy my Saturday.
Yeah.
I
You
bet.
look tired today, Viv.
She is tired.
Yes.
Yeah, you look tired.
French things.
Strange.
Oh, really?
You're married to Jeff, so you being tired and dealing with strange things is exactly what we expect.
He don't say anything. And I am free with him. I can go to the China and he don't say anything.
I got it.
Oh, you've never gone to China, so maybe
I can go whatever I want. I can do it whatever I want. I can go with my friends and go to the parties. But I am not going to parties. I am not going to hang out with anybody because I doesn't have time to.
Well, as I once said to one of her exes who DM'd me offering to pay me money to buy her,
What?
I said I don't want her and she wouldn't be for sale anyway.
What, is that true? Is that real?
Oh, yes. I still have
Wow.
text.
He let me be like, he let me be. I can. He's nice. He's nice.
In other words, he lets you be you.
I'm 54. She's 24. I can't stop her. It's called.
We're all 24.
It's called an adult relationship, and she lets me do all this nonsense.
I think,
Well, there you go.
I think the Latinas we are take care of the family and we are more at home.
That's right.
Of course, that's true.
And I'm a one-person family in need of lots of support and help.
He's doing something like goodbye.
I find it very comforting to know exactly how I'm going to die.
Well, she is La Sacaria.
Yes, I have to go because I am preparing something in the kitchen. Take care.
Okay, no worries. Thank you,
Jimmy.
Viv. Have a good one.
Jimmy,
Yes.
don't go and disappear again. And Chris, take
No.
care. Okay, nice to see you.
Thank
Back on
you.
the
Next time we're Senator after you.
Oh no.
That's
Oh
right.
no. Hey, she will kill me. That's a fact, guys.
Oh, for sure.
Just letting you know.
And she'll bring back the head.
Oh, wow. That's pretty brutal. Well, she is La Sicaria, ladies and gentlemen. So
Why don't we have a
just
La
saying.
Sicaria like? Why don't we have like
Jeff,
a La
one
Sicaria
lucky-
character on
WWE 2K23?
someone, yeah, like on someone's fucking wrestling? Like that would be a cool character.
Eva
True.
Lee
No,
actually
no,
called
really.
herself La Sicaria, but she keeps getting fired.
Oh well,
I think
yeah.
I have heard that before.
In fact,
Well-
we've challenged
Ivelisse is an
Eva
asshole.
Lise to
She is.
matches for the title of La Sicaria, and she mostly ignores it, curses at me. She's never blocked me though.
No, that's good.
Well, Jinder says, Jeff, you're one lucky SOB.
It's all skill, brother.
But get this. Look, you're getting the praises. Oh, not a bad way to go, Jimmy. True. Because he says you're a lucky man, Jeff.
I know, but like I said, it's no luck. It's all skill.
And Facebook user says, my said Ali or Hagler Tyson Spinks.
What is that? What are you talking about?
I have no idea what he means by that. You got to elaborate a little more
Those
there.
were certainly boxing salad words.
They were. And apparently I got christened in a kangaroo pouch, according to Jinder Mahal. Dude, I don't think you've ever come across kangaroos before, but I'm telling you now, man, those things are fucking huge, and they don't fuck around. Dead set. It's
bastards.
true. Yeah, it's little.
Well,
Please.
oh yeah, that's excellent
Peter-
point, Tinder. Speaking of kangaroos, the Hardys have a kangaroo.
They do.
Yeah,
Actually,
George
what was
Foreman.
its name? Yeah, that's right. It is George Foreman. And did you see that weird video of Matt Hardy?
Did you know that George Foreman has 6 sons and they're all named George Foreman?
Yes, and a
Come
daughter
on, dude.
named Georgina Foreman.
No, for real?
Yeah, they all have nicknames though that they're very proud of. I'm sure. Like, what choice do they have?
Wow. Talk about fucking ego. I mean, come on.
Or
George
lack of
Foreman's-
creativity.
Yeah, George Foreman's
wow.
a weird dude. He's a weird dude.
Why the
Hey,
fuck would
his
you do
grills
that to your
kick
kids,
ass.
man?
I'm just gonna say that.
Really?
But
Wait,
Jeff Hardy is sad there. He just looks so small, thin, defeated.
Dude, he was acting
old.
weird. I was just looking at him. Yeah, he does look old, though. That's true. But I was just watching him, right, while Matt Hardy was talking. And I kid you not, he was sitting there, like, doing weird shit. Like, with his eyes and shit.
Exactly.
Like he was...
Like he's
Yeah,
Ray Charles
I mean-
or something.
Ray Charles.
Or he's just super
Okay.
fucking high.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to think that, Chris, man. Actually, like, I don't want to be, but he's acting weird. Like,
It's
legit.
kind of hard not to fucking go there when given this person's history. I mean, when
Right.
has he not fucked something up by being super fucking high? Like in
Every
the
time.
entire history of his life, how many times has he completely fucked up an opportunity or something that he was supposed to be doing because he got really fucking high and acted like a complete jackass? Now, I don't have any hate for Jeff Hardy, but I really wish that people would stop telling me that it's unfair to say Jeff Hardy looked high when he looked fucking high and he gets high all the fucking time.
It's true. I mean, and we hate saying that, but we got to call it how we see it. I mean, he was acting weird. Yeah, he was definitely acting like he was on something.
And by the way, maybe he is weird. Maybe we've only seen him basically fucking high, and what we think is him normal isn't him. Maybe this is him. Maybe this is him sober, and he's a weird, quiet dude. Maybe he needs the stuff to get himself up there. Anyway, he just looks like a defeated man, and Isaiah Cassidy looks pathetic with the bedazzled neck brace. And I don't know what Ethan Page is doing there, but if they had to do this story, and clearly they had to do this story, at least he should be doing something. Make faces in the background, something. Say yeah, a word, whatever, something. Do something.
Yep.
Yeah, do something. But and what's going on with Ethan Page, guys? Because
didn't I just ask that?
No, I know, but I know he's he lost the match and whatnot too. But all this shit, just everything right now just doesn't make sense to me. But whatever, man. It's a battle of the brothers, well, the brother teams. It is what it is. Who cares?
You know
I
what?
don't.
I will go for one more contract switch that you see in some segment where Don Callis is shaking hands with maybe not Matt Hardy, but Isaiah Cassidy to set something up. Passes an envelope, and Don Callis acquired Ethan Page's contract to watch Takeshita's back. I don't know why, but it would be better than that. Where's Outback Jack?
You know what? Where is Outback Jack? I have no idea even if he's still in Australia or even if he's alive.
He's tying the kangaroo down, Sport. Tying the kangaroo down.
Another thing about Australia that people don't realize, we hate that song, all right? Just quietly. No one fucking cares about it. No one brings it up. We hated Outback Jack, too.
Hey, by the way, I interviewed an Australian from Sydney, George Mitrovic. Have you heard of him, Jimmy? He's written 110 books about the paranormal and mostly about Bigfoots.
Actually, yeah, I have. I have heard of him, as a matter of fact. He's the Yowie hunter.
He is a Yowie hunter, indeed.
And I've heard him on Coast to Coast, actually, too.
Jeff, they're both from Australia. They know each other. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's he literally goes hunting for Bigfoot, which we call Yowies over here.
I don't think he goes hunting for anything anymore. He's like 80, but
yeah, he's old. He's pretty old. He used to have a younger guy. I don't know if it was his son, maybe, that used to come along with him while they were looking for Yowies. But do you know
again
that?
Next time because he wants to come back on again.
Okay, cool. No, he's cool, man. He's been around for years, and he's, like I said, I've heard him on Coast to Coast AM. I've heard him on numerous shows before.
Coast to Coast AM like 3 days ago.
Oh, really? So he was on again. Well, I heard him years ago on Coast to Coast, but there you go. He was on again recently. He has been on a few times, but yeah, no, he's cool. Go check that out. Garden of Doom.
Once again, recording guests way above my weight class. Maybe this is my weight class now.
Maybe it is. I mean, you do a great show, Jeff. That's true. You really do. And I've said this to you from years ago now. The guests you started getting on are amazing. You know what I'm saying? That by right, you probably wouldn't have really gotten. But I think word of mouth really does work. And because you're getting higher and higher when it comes to the guests. So, no, absolutely.
Like Jeff Hardy, I'm getting higher and higher.
Speaking of getting higher and higher, let's talk about the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's not talk about the Hardy Boys because let's move on to the next match. Even though we kind of already alluded to it earlier, it was Aubrey Edwards and Mark and Papa Briscoe defeating Jay Lethal, Jeff, and Karen Jarrett in a mixed trios match. It was okay, but Aubrey Edwards was in the match.
Fuck you, like it was okay.
It was, I don't want to say fun. Maybe that's the wrong word, but it wasn't. Look, for me, I like the fact that it's an actual progression in the storyline, and they actually did it on Rampage. That's the only thing that I can say positively about this match.
Fun, and it should have been fun. The only thing I can say positive is because the faces won. Hopefully, this is the end of it, and I cede all my remaining time on this to Chris.
Right. Go, Chris.
I don't even want, I'm mad at myself for having watched this fucking shit. Like, I honestly watched it and went, Jesus Christ. Like, I could have been doing anything. I could have been fucking soaking, for fuck's sakes. I could have been doing literally anything with my time that would have been a better fucking use of my time. This was bad, and the fact that they've got, talented guys like Mark and Jay wrapped up in this just makes me very sad. Aubrey Edwards is exactly what we said she was. People have been saying, listen, this chick just wants to get famous. This chick just wants to be on TV. It's the only reason she does what she does. The only reason she's a referee and not a wrestler is, well, we learned today, she can't fucking wrestle. She's not good at it. The only thing she's there for is to become famous, and she will do it however she can possibly do it. And I mean, I guess fine, but I really don't want to be a fucking part of you getting famous, Aubrey Edwards. You are terrible. Terrible. Your facial expressions are fucking comical. Nothing about you is interesting, and you wasted my time. You wasted my time. I hated this.
Well, it's funny because now, like, what? Why? I mean, did you check out those snap mares she was doing on poor old Karen Jarrett? I mean, by the hair, man, she was friggin' doing it. And at least Karen Jarrett obviously has had some sort of training, probably via her husband. Yes, I said husband. So there's that. But Aubrey Edwards, what does she do other than snap mares?
Walked
Nothing.
around
And a
slowly.
guitar.
Between her and Papa Briscoe, no one knew where to be, and I actually thought that Chris was going to want to vent more on this one. But this was small, cumbersome plotting. I mean, of all things to have not been strictly choreographed, this is the one match that needed to be strictly choreographed and rehearsed, because half the people in the match can't wrestle, and I'm including Karen Jarrett in that, and Papa Briscoe. And he shouldn't be able to. He's 60-something years old, and he's not a wrestler. His kids are wrestlers.
Literally 3 of the 6 people in this 6-man are not wrestlers.
Right.
Well, that's true, but he has had a few matches in Ring of Honor years ago, and he was kind of more entertaining in those matches than this one.
That must have been a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
I don't remember that, and that's fine, because I didn't always watch Ring of Honor. There's several years I didn't see it at all, or just saw it so late at night, and all I can remember is Davey Richards and Jim Cornette. But anyway, like I said, I mean, this match actually did need to be choreographed and rehearsed, and you should never have a 6-person match where half of them don't wrestle. I don't care how good Jay Lethal is. I don't care how good Mark Briscoe is, because first of all, he isn't going to correct his dad, for one. I mean, the one thing I got very clear from the Briscoe boys is they respect their father. You respect family, so they're not going to correct them even in their chosen sport. And if anyone was, it would have been Jay, who was the leader, Jamin. I don't know. This was really terrible. It wasn't entertaining. Even the clutter of Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt running around on the outside.
Did you see those bad kicks on the outside by Satnam Singh?
Right, everything. It's like it made everyone worse. Like the one time, like them being in the way and cluttering and clusterfucking everything that could have benefited a match somehow didn't. So at least Karen Jarrett took the guitar to the head, got pinned. The crowd got to go, yay, wonderful. Karen Jarrett, by the way, my God, she looks great for her age.
She does. No, for real. Yeah, no. Definitely she does. Did she get the guitar? I thought it was Jay Lethal that got the guitar.
Yep.
Was it Jay Lethal that got the guitar?
Yeah, and that's another problem I had because
I actually imagined a better result.
Well, the funny thing is, you're right, though. It should have been Karen Jarrett because, first of all, what done my head in was the part when Aubrey Edwards was going to hit Karen Jarrett with the guitar, but instead Jay Lethal gets in the way and says, hit me.
Briscoe did the froggy boy.
Right, but he was asking her to
going
hit
back
me.
to the George Mitrovic show, we were talking about how your brain protects you. I was so traumatized. I think my brain actually protected me, and I remember Karen Jarrett getting hit with the guitar. I remember I could see her falling down like a tree, going straight back, and it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, but you know what? Aubrey Edwards is that stupid. She could have hit Karen Jarrett easily because she was just sitting in the corner, right? Just standing there, but instead, hit fucking Jay Lethal instead. But I thought she wanted revenge on Karen.
No, like this. He's pointing at her.
That was a new referee, I think. In that, no, it wasn't. That was in the main event. There was a new ref. We'll get to that.
Remember when referees used to do this thing where if somebody came in with an object, the referee would just grab it out of their hand because they're the fucking referee, and their job is to make sure that nobody fucking cheats in wrestling.
Well, to be fair,
do that was great. I like that.
You're spot on.
Can we go back to that?
How come Hausenhausen didn't come to grab his Golden Globe? Like why didn't he run in and steal his Golden Globe back?
Yeah, whatever happened to that? Maybe they're using it for a dildo or they're soaking it or something. You get me? Is that, oh yeah. Whoops. What was I saying? But anyway, yeah. Look, it is what it is. I thought it was going to be the main event though, guys. Originally, the way they were hyping that match, but it wasn't. Yeah. Aubrey Edwards is a professional wrestler now. Peeps,
undefeated.
Yes, undefeated. Absolutely undefeated. She sucked. She sucked bad. But apparently, to who was it?
Or maybe she sucks particularly good, and that's why she has a fucking job in AEW. I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, like Jinder says, Aubrey should have been the first to beat Jade. I mean, shit. And I mean, even Homeboy thinks he could have been a contender. Shit. I mean, come on now.
Cheers to both. Cheers to both.
And Jinder, yes, Bray Wyatt is the Yowie Wowie hunter. Just quietly.
I think the Yowie might have done turnabout there. I might have eaten him.
Oh, maybe. But Facebook user says Aubrey Edwards at least had some nice lipstick.
No.
I'm sure you like to soak Aubrey, right? Anyway, it is what it is. What do you do, boys? It is what it is. Well, next we see. Well, we spoke about this before, so I won't even bring it up again. It was the Taya Valkyrie segment in the back where with Chris Downlander. But forget that. We spoke about it at the start. But we also see Don Callis and Takeshita interrupt Mark Henry to cut a promo ahead of the main event match. Takeshita is referred to as El Hijo de Don Callis.
So stupid.
Like, really? Really? Did he speak Spanish and Japanese on the way out, apparently?
Kenny Omega.
I mean, why couldn't he call him Don Callis Jr.? Why do they have to make the joke one level more intra AEW stupidity with the El Hijo del?
I have no idea, Jeff. Don't even ask me questions like this.
They already speak different languages. You need to insert a third language. It's called Don Callis Jr. That is funny, and it fits with Don Callis' thing. From now on, you call him Don Callis Jr. If you want to call me Senior, that's okay.
Or they could have caught, if they want to play the Japanese route, right? He could have been Donsuke Kaleshka or something like that.
Nobody would have gotten that reference.
Right, that's the problem. True. Pretty simple. The AEW
that scar is no joke.
That's bad. Yeah, right. I was going to say the same thing. 2 words. The Comic King says, Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, 2 words. I got words back for you. If Tony Khan saw that would be, he would hire like Trinity Fatu and change her name to Rosetta Stone.
Facebook user says, I'm on an A-frame OG that likes vagina straight up, homie.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. That's good to know. Good to know.
Wonderful comment. Thank you.
Look up soaking for us, all right? Facebook user, trust me. You'll be a fan. Jinder also says, take a shit at El Hijo de Lomain.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot in that sentence.
Fucking hell. You guys are the best, man. Well, anyway, let's talk about that match because it is the main event. Actually, Chris, come on. You got to do it because he didn't do it. Mark Henry didn't do it, but you will.
Oh, I kind of liked that Mark Henry literally was like, what the fuck? As Takeshita was walking away, he was like, what? He was like, well, I guess we've said enough. I loved that. I wish he would have fucking kept with that the rest of his thing, but I wish it would have been, okay, I guess we've said enough. It's time for the main event. Like, I would have loved that. But instead, it was Mark Henry being actually entertaining with the, I guess we've heard enough. It's time for the main event.
Homeboy, this is Inglés sin barreras.
Well said, homeboy. Well said.
Well said, homeboy, indeed. Anyway, like I said, it is Takeshita defeating the little bandit himself in Bandito. Man, I just want to say, Jeff, I know you were kind of a fan of Bandito. I'm not sure if you are anymore. But
how could I?
He looked like a tiny motherfucker compared to Takeshita and his shit stain on his nose.
He's really small. I mean, he's like 5'8", like 185. And listen,
5'8", he looks like 5'2".
Well, Takeshi's a big guy, but Takeshi's like 6'3", 6'2".
Yeah, legit 6'3", apparently.
He might be taller. I don't know, but he's legitimately. I don't know. Listen. Was this a good match? Yes, it was. But again, it shouldn't have been. If the whole thing is Takeshita was this coveted free agent recruited by Don Callis, turned to the evil side, maybe is with the BCC against the Elite in main event action that main events over title matches on pay-per-views. He shouldn't be having hard matches like Will Ospreay.
And he's always had hard matches, Jeff. The whole time he's been part of AEW. Have you noticed that?
But now his characters, when you change from face to heel, the way your matches go is supposed to change. Just like when you change from heel to face, the way your matches should change.
Not in AEW.
Right. So if this was just an exhibition match on a local indie, this would be great. The match was well executed. But again, this shouldn't have been. This should have been Takeshita killing someone. And it's not like they built Bandito to be anything, so they could have killed him. But you don't want it to be Bandito? Then make it be fucking Serpentico for all I care. But Takeshita should have killed some motherfucker. And you know what? He kills Serpentico so bad that Dr. Luther comes in running to him, and then he kills Dr. Luther. And then Angelico comes in, and he kills him, and he kills the entire Spanish Announce Project, one after another. And you've got Takeshita, a true badass, definitely part of the Blackpool Combat Club, and he is ready to beat the shit out of some elite ass. No, instead we got a 15-minute competitive match, which would have been a great on an indie card or whatever.
Right.
But it's not in a vacuum. It's part of a story, and Takeshita's supposed to be a big deal in the story, like Ospreay's supposed to be a big deal in the story. And I'm not one of those fans that goes, yay, an exhibition match. But you know what? At least I understand the people with the Ospreay Omega thing. But I don't understand people who forgive this, because we know we're getting BCC versus the Elite, and that's part of an AEW ongoing story. So it's not just an exhibition match. It's part of AEW canon. So he's got to be the badass and make him a real badass. So that's my rant. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing, the same applies here with Takeshita, like what you said, Chris, earlier, and you, Jeff, all of us did, about having someone squash, Takeshita having to squash guys. You could have thrown in again, Nakazawa, say, or fucking, what's his name? Cutler. Right, but no, again, he has hard matches, and for no real reason. It was just an exhibition match.
Funny too, and been a tie into Collision, sort of. Called Cabana.
Called
Cabana.
With a go to sleep at the end. Just say that would be good.
That might be one too far, but
why not? I mean, shit. But they should have done that, but they didn't do that because this company just doesn't think, Chris.
No, and this company, the thing is like, I'm very confused about what the fuck they want to do with Takeshita, because a part of me really feels like what they're trying to do is create their own Okada out of nothing. They're just going to make an Okada, because the guy kind of has a similar body type to Okada. He's tall, and he's got a little bit of muscle for a Japanese
Okada's just as tall, but Takeshita is actually more solid.
Yeah, so they're a pretty similar look, right? They look pretty similar if you're talking about Japanese guys.
He's
right?
actually sort of the perfect combination of Tanahashi and Okada to Chris.
Actually, yeah, and that's how good he actually really is. I think he's got that much potential. For real.
But then he needs to be squashing people. He can't be having 15-minute competitive matches against fucking Bandito 2 weeks before he's supposed to really have a thing with Don Callis. And I will say the best thing about this match was the best thing about the entire show, and it was a quick little conversation that JR had with Don Callis on commentary. Don Callis was talking about all the things that he's doing with Takeshita, and JR said, "Oh, come on now, Don. Everything you're doing with Takeshita is just to make you more money." And then Don Callis went, and then Don Callis goes, "Well, yeah, I mean, what else are we doing here, JR?" And JR goes, "Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm here for." Yeah. That's.
I love when heels use logic and it's irrefutable. By the way, speaking of JR, did you see he took a fall? He took a picture. His one entire eye is swollen and shut, and it's black, and he's like, "I'm still going to weeks ago." Like, no, dude, go to the hospital, have that checked out. We don't need you at Collision. They have people there.
By the way, the announce team for Collision is going to be fucking awesome.
That's great, man. It's really Nigel McGuinness and Kevin Kelly. JR's only at for the main event, apparently.
I don't care. Give me those guys. I mean, anytime you can get me away from fucking Excalibur, I'm happy. I can't.
No, that was a great move.
Guy.
Great move. As a matter of fact, I think the Kevin Kelly rumor was sort of around. I think the three of us actually discussed this a while back, that it could possibly be Kevin Kelly. And yeah, I was happy as
people
yeah.
are there out there that can still work and can still do this.
Well, I felt the last year's Forbidden Door when Kevin Kelly was doing commentary as well with the rest of them, he killed it, man. Like he made everyone else look bad, in my opinion, last year. So I think that was a great move, and especially Nigel McGuinness.
Professional announcer. He's a professional wrestling announcer, and he's got a little character work with AXW as well. So he's done that a bit too. I don't know. Listen, this is another person that WWE missed out on because they really could use somebody on commentary.
Right, you would have thought
they would have got rid of fucking Kevin Patrick.
Right, and he was in WWE for quite a few years too. So, I mean, he would have been a great inclusion right now, right, Chris?
Yeah, fantastic. He would have been way better than what they've got over there right now, and even what they seem to be training right now is fucking crap. The guy in NXT who's not Booker T, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Vic Joseph.
I like him, man.
Vic Joseph is just Michael Cole. I don't.
Really? You don't like him?
That is Michael Cole. He has nothing interesting to say whatsoever. He has nothing that he adds to any fucking match ever. He's just Michael Cole.
I think he's better than the Irish lad on Raw. Forgot his name already. Kevin Patrick, whatever I think it is, right?
Yeah, he's better than Kevin Patrick. I don't feel nearly as strongly as Chris about Vic Joseph. I think Vic Joseph is fine. He's the play-by-play. He's not there to be interesting. But Raw needs a 3-person booth. You need Samoa Joe on one side and Booker T on the other, and him in the middle.
Oh, that'd be great, actually. Well, anyway, it is what it is. And Chris, did you notice what song Collision's song's gonna be? By the way,
I fucking sent that to you. I sent.
Yeah, no. That's gonna be the song for us. But I can't believe they done the same thing.
Yeah, but they're going with the
Elton John version.
Elton John version, which doesn't slap even a quarter as hard as the fucking version by Nickelback and Kid Rock. I don't understand why they did that.
I don't remember when Nickelback and Kid Rock did Tiny Dancer.
Oh boy. Anyway, that's funny. I'm looking forward to Collision, guys.
Seeing as how they're having this whole roster split, and it seems like the pro wrestlers are on Saturday and everybody else is on Wednesday, they should just have Tiny Dancer be the theme song for Dynamite. That'd be great.
Tiny Dancer.
Except when Danny Garcia goes on, they can play Daniel for main event. Garcia.
He's just dancing, doing the friggin' yeah. I hate that shit, man. That shit is just so. Can I say it? Gay. Just saying.
Well, then you can play Philadelphia Freedom.
Freedom.
No,
anyway,
that's Wham Freedom.
Oh, it is too. You're right. That is Wham. God damn it, George Michael's right.
No, it's not Wham, guys. It's not Wham.
Jordan.
It's Wham.
Oh, Wham.
There's a fucking exclamation. They earned that exclamation mark, guys.
They do.
Thanks, Facebook user. It is pretty gay. Wham was definitely gay too, straight up. Yeah.
Not straight up.
Well, true, not straight up. Just saying. Anyway, boys, I think we can pretty much end the show here, except before we do go, are you guys sort of hyped for Collision? Because I am, for some weird reason. Chris?
I'm fucking stoked for Collision, mostly because I am allowing myself to believe that since they have a completely different roster, or a mostly different roster. And since they have an announce team that looks like an actual professional wrestling announce team, that they're also maybe going to allow somebody other than TK to book the matches. Because if they do that, Collision will instantly become my favorite fucking TV show in terms of pro wrestling. Because that is a great announce team, and it's a great roster of guys. You've got guys who are already huge stars in professional wrestling, and you've got a bunch of guys there who you can build something into really. Miro can become a superstar in professional wrestling. I don't know if he can cross over. I'm not going there, but he can be your MJF if you want to push him like that. He's that good.
He's underrated, definitely.
He's so fucking good. He's just excellent. And if you've got somebody booking him who can actually book properly, they're going to have a huge, huge star on their hands. Hobbs is going to be over there too. If they book him properly, they've got potential there. They've just got so much going on over in that show. If they can book even just half-ass, it's going to be instantly the best AEW show on television, and sans Bloodline, the best wrestling show on television.
Oh, I hope so, but Facebook usually says they need carpenters and mechanics.
They fucking do, of course. Every wrestling show needs carpenters and mechanics. You need guys who can actually fucking
build
work
the company, right?
To help get these other guys fucking over, and also to help these fucking people learn how to work. Because like, this is something that I said, I had this conversation with the vet when I was on the Next Level podcast. We're quickly spiraling into this future where you're going to have an entire roster full of people who actually don't know how to wrestle. They know how to.
That's why we need the mechanics
together,
right?
Putting a spot after a spot after a spot is not the same fucking thing as working. Working is doing it on the fly and knowing how the story is meant to be told within the confines of the wrestling ring. And if you can't do that without, oh, what was the next spot we were running? If you have to do spot, you're not a good worker. Go back to fucking train.
Absolutely. Jeff, do you agree?
100%. I am cautiously optimistic about this, but I'm a little bit worried for Chris, because if I don't have time to do predictions because we have a 6:30 reservation.
There's no point of doing predictions for an every week.
I'm afraid of the main event ending in some sort of schmoz, which involves Ricky Starks and the Gun Club and and other stuff, and the Miro in action. I'm afraid he's just going to squash like Serpentico or someone.
They didn't announce who he's wrestling, right?
Huh?
They didn't announce who Miro was wrestling, right?
No, just an action, which means it's a squash match, which is fine. But I mean, we don't need to be reintroduced to Miro. I mean, but anyway, true. I guess it depends who he faces. If he faces like local jobber, it's a waste. If he squashes Captain Sean Dean, fine.
Right, it would be a squash match for sure, since they didn't actually announce who he's facing.
I'm interested. This is the most interested I've been about an AEW regular television show.
It feels different. That's why.
Like Grand Slam, or
oh yeah, definitely. And look, the thing is, I'm hoping the set is also different, and it's not the same generic set that they use for every other show, right? Since they've gone completely different with the commentary team. It does feel different already just by the preview of it, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm hyped for it, but I hope it's just not a big disappointment.
You guys are hoping too many things, and now there's too many things for you to be disappointed. I think it's going to be.
For sure.
I don't think they're doing all that.
You
stuff.
Don't think so?
And that's okay. Listen, all I care about is that we get different people and matches that make sense, and stories and the beginning of stories that can turn into stories. I don't care if they continue some things from existing AEW canon, but I want mostly new stuff starting fresh and people presented well.
Are we going to get even Punk talking on the mic, Chris, you think? Or we're not even going to get that? Or he's going to talk at the end of the friggin' match, like when it goes off the air?
The last thing that he said on Dynamite, the last thing that I've heard, from CM Punk on Dynamite is...
was he on Dynamite?
He wasn't on. There was an insert video that included him walking around Chicago and talking with a voiceover. The last thing he said was, "I have some things to get off my chest." So,
thank God. All right.
Yeah, he better fucking say something.
Yeah. Well, if they're not having CM Punk opening by speaking, that's just dumb. Or at least heavily promoting him speaking next week.
Well, like Todd says, and this is perfectly put actually, because that's how I feel pretty much. Cautiously optimistic. Well, that's more Jeff, but I'm just hoping they just do it right, man. It's Saturday night. It feels good to have a wrestling show on a Saturday night per se. But like Jeff said, we're probably going to just be disappointed. I just hope they stick to this show being, if you want to call it an A1 type of show, like you got A+, A-. You know what I'm saying? I hope they do that, but
I just hope the booking feels different than Tony Khan booking. That's all.
Yep, that's really honestly the major thing. And if you could get a show with even the roster that they have on Wednesday that would just feel different than Tony Khan booking, I would be happier with it.
For sure, I agree. And Sam Floyd says in the chat, and thank you for checking this out, by the way, because I've never seen him around. Everyone in the United Center is expecting ice cream,
Right.
but yeah, they're probably going to get fed
If they
something
don't
else.
open with Cult of Personality and Punk coming out and talking, the entire 2-hour show is going to be hijacked by CM Punk chants. It's fucking Chicago.
Absolutely, they're going to be doing that before the show even starts officially. If you know what I'm saying, they can just
Ice
be
cream
CM
goes
Punk.
great with summer in the city. Everybody should have their ice cream bars in their hands in the audience.
Oh, that'd be great if they were
go on
smart.
the air.
Right, but they probably will fail to actually do that anyway. But we'll see. I'm hyped. It's only a few hours away. Actually, it's only about 2 hours away, right, guys?
Yeah, 2 hours from now.
And we'll be back tonight on channelattitude.com, right, Chris? Oh, no, tomorrow we're doing that.
Mañana en la mañana. Tomorrow in the morning.
Shit. I forgot for a second for some reason. But are we doing Wreckage tonight, actually, Jeff?
Hit me up after Collision's over. I have to go now. We have to go to dinner.
All right, go do your thing, boys. So I might as well take it home. So, Chris, tell them where they can find you, brother.
You can find me right here on the Hamin Media Group on channelattitude.com. I'm on a number of shows this week. Holy crap. Next Level.
You are.
Right here on Rampage Uncaged. I'm also on the Smack Attack. Tomorrow, you're going to hear what I have to say, and whoever else gets invited, whoever else gets invited with me for Channel Attitude and Hamin Media Group, we're going to be doing the review of Collision. We'll see how CM Punk's debut goes. Other than that, you can see me on Twitter. I'm at Chris Ambs 1. You can go there to read everything that I have to say about podcasts, pro wrestling, and pretty much whatever the hell else. Jeff had to go, but yeah. Fucking Olay.
Olay indeed. If you want to follow me, you can on Twitter at DJMassFX, and also you can follow us at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com, HaminMediaGroup.com, PWCNetwork.com, where you can find all the shows like Chris just said. And I think we can take it home, Chris. It is Saturday night, and everything's going to be all right. Peace.